At this moment is a time when we need creative thinking, and we need people to come together, and of all faiths, of all backgrounds, because these buildings are bigger than us, and they tell a story of where we came from, and if we take care of them, they can be a part of the story of where we're going. And so one of the things we believe is that in the church, or in these spaces, it's really strings and voices and horns. And those just come alive in there. And so we started a few weeks ago in London, and have been putting on concerts with string quartets in the buildings. And when you take a contemporary artist and their new music and surround it with strings, in that setting, it is one of the most spectacular sounds and experiences. And for the fans of the music, they get to hear a familiar song. And for the artists, they get to experience this great space. And so it's this win-win situation for fan and artist. And those are the kind of things that if we take those situations from space to space, you bring it into a space that's struggling, it doesn't have a lot of people coming into it, all of a sudden you have a new audience coming in. And we heard earlier today, we heard the rector from St. Marylebone talking about how just having 1,200 students once a week in the church invigorates them. And we know that if we bring people back into these buildings, that they will be uplifted, that the history of the building can't help but infect you and sort of become a part of you. And that's the idea of just getting people back into the buildings is the first step, to show them their beauty. Where people go from there, that's an individual decision. And we've seen people go in all sorts of directions now. So as the rents go up, we see public spaces disappearing. But if you look around a city, you see enormous amounts of public space. And one of those, I mean, in Heritage, and especially where I've been focused in London, in the Church of England, 22,000 buildings, 15,000 of them are Type 1 listed churches. Every corner arguably has a church on it that sits empty many days a week. So it's been a combination of working with heritage organizations that have closed buildings, that truly have no congregation, no use currently, and then also partnering with churches in the Church of England that are at a crossroads in terms of where they're headed. The parish may not be that big, or they may have a dwindling parish. There was a church in London that I attended a few Sundays where there was only one person in the whole church. The church can hold 700 people and there's only one person. Now that's a problem. The church can't go anywhere. You're not going to tear it down. You're not going to sell the building. So it's up to us to invigorate each other, to create an imagination in each other of how we can engage. We believe that if you put art in it, art will attract people. We've seen this happen in downtown New York with Andy Warhol. We've seen this happen in East London. We've seen it happen now in East Nashville in Tennessee, where the music community is spreading. And so we think that same principle is true. If we take artists and put them into these buildings, the rest of the world and the rest of the community will start to see what's going on there and emulate it by coming into the building and experiencing what's going on. And I think that can range from everything from photography exhibits to art exhibits to concerts. And even better, an art exhibit that happens before a concert. And which is neat because the buildings lend themselves to that. Many of these buildings have a crypt. So we've seen nights where we've had art exhibitions in the crypt underneath, and you come upstairs and have a music event afterwards. Conversely, we need a place for everyone to go afterwards so that they don't just file out of the church and have it end at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. We need to try to find a way to capture that momentum, capture those people, and have an afterglow from an artistic event or from a service or whatever it is. You see it after church, everyone has coffee together. Well, after a concert or after an art event, we need to make sure that everyone doesn't just leave and go home. We need to create a place for the community. My message to the people of Europe is one of celebration. We are sitting, all of us, on a great history of heritage. These buildings, ranging from churches to church buildings to the properties that they sit on, are absolutely inspirational, and they're there for all of us. They were the original concept of these churches was that for 6 days a week they were there for the community. On the 7th they were there for worship. We believe, and we're using music and art to bring that back into the churches, to invigorate a community, to create a reason to come together.